My name is Josefina. I have been an activist since I have like 20 years old. And I have been like always working in some part of my labor works in volunteering in climate justice and environmental justice. My passion, I think, is really related with that. I really love to help. I really love to put myself and my knowledge like for people that don't have the same access. I really think that the inequalities here are really like depth, and I love to be like a part of my life, like doing the good things. So I think that that is one of my passions. Well, I'm nowadays advocacy coordinator in Ciudadanía Inteligente. This is an ONG that looks forward to work in for the democracy here in Latin America. We are like working in 15 countries, and we make a lot of work related with giving capabilities to people and also to government to make like the framework of participation and democracy, an institutional one that could deliver some things that are needed for the citizenship. Nowadays, we're working in different areas like an advocacy in civic space, but we are also working in environmental democracy. We think that the recently signed of Escazú agreement is like an opportunity to make like better stakeholders and better citizenship toward accountability for the states. When we talk about Escazú agreement and citizenship participating in democracy spaces, we need to have in the first step like information. If we don't have information, everything that goes further doesn't have like the solid or the deepness that we need to make really some change in the things that are happening. So we need to put like some way on our governments to look forward to take action in environmental issues, also complementing this with the Escazú agreement and the international law standards. We have this idea that there was a great gap between the information and the discourse. I mean, we were talking the other day about how words like sustainability or climate change is like some words that you can put everything on it, and greenwashing is like on the next door. So we try to design a tool of accountability, that we have some experience of this because we make accountability of the presidential programs here in Chile. So nowadays we are like making a project that looks forward to give information to people that is called Climate Action, precisely because there's a lot of our countries that address like a climate actions law or climate change law, but there are like a lot of things that are compromised there, and we don't know if the governments are going forward or not. So we need to give like some information really easy to understand and really easy to acknowledge to citizenship, so they could demand from their government to take action in these kind of things. So we put on a platform, a technological platform, where we are monitoring how the government is going further in this law. And this is a really beautiful project because we could alliance with a scientific center that could give us like a solid methodology to go further in this and to talk. And in the other hand, we work with two ONGs that work in things of environmental, so that they also check out what we were delivering. So we have like a lot of security about what we are addressing in the public space. Because that is also really relevant nowadays in the democracy debate. So we were really like picky with that kind of things. We hear about our governments talking about action, about climate action, about how are they addressing, but when we go and make like some evaluation of this, we are like late like the 30% of the normative of the law aren't here, so we can implement the law. And we are already late, like 2 years. And this is like a thing that goes further in society, because also we are talking in this law of subnational plans of climate change, and if the central part is late, all the subnational part is also late. So it has also like some impact in the territory, along all territory in Chile. The importance of having these tools give the citizenship some kind of way of demanding of the government what they need and where they need to go further in different areas. Now we did it with climate law, but maybe we could make it with the politics in plastic, with the politics in participation, in applications in Escazú, because there's a lot of space between the dictation of law and the implementing of law here in Latin America. I mean, that is something that you can see in all our countries. We have like great laws and some agreements, and nothing of that is actually like becoming in reality for the people. So we think that giving this kind of tool is like the first step to give like a participation with the capabilities that can deliver or address some advocacy with a good scope, an advocacy that is looking further where the government is in stay. I mean, it's not like doing anything. And because we already know that ONGs is a really little space in society, so we need that the society have the tools, not only the people that is really like working towards things of democracy or any other thing. We need that everyone give some accountability. That is really relevant, because when we talk about climate crisis or biodiversity falling, is a lot of risk for a lot of people, and is annoying like to see that this is like coming and no one is doing anything. Well, it's really important this thing, because when you look like the research about the sense of climate issues, you always see that the citizenship is like 80% worry and 7% worry, but they really don't know how they can like demand this kind of things. So if you look like the narrative that was on press before of this project, it was everything talking about the good and the advance that it means to have a climate change law. And it was really amazing, I mean, to see that after we took this to the public sphere and make like a communication plan around it, like how nowadays there is not only us talking about how we are late about taking action, is also a lot of another ONGs talking about, and in different areas. So I think that this like changed the narrative where the citizenship look where we were, I mean, in action. Somehow after our 2 constitutional process in Chile, this is really difficult to make people take action in anything. It's like somehow they're really like bored of things that don't get anywhere. I really think that the process get us to a place, but that's not the feeling like the national feeling. Even though I see and I saw, as I told you, that there is a change of the narrative, in the public narrative. I mean, the press is not addressing now this only as a good advance. It's also addressing that there is something that is not had been done. And I think that I like to settle some truth about it. I mean, I think that is important. For us, for Ciudadanía Inteligente was some kind of one of the first projects that we made in environmental democracy. And I think that put us in the civil society in a place where we can talk about probably not the things that are everyone talking in the environmental ONGs, but to talk about the issues of democracy with environment, and things like the information and participation is like two kind of things that are really important. All the conflicts here has to be with environmental issues. If you look like what happened with human defenders in the world, all the things that are threatened here in Latin America is related with environment. So I think that is like a door open for us to start working and to start delivering the things that we really know about working with local people and how to address like plans of participation and good participation in this new area of environment. I think that is something important for us. Well, I think that probably that is like the path that we need to construct, like to get for another place. We have, as Latin Americas, a really extractive development in the economic part, and that extractivism has lived like with a lot of strength towards the reality of citizenship. We need in societies that are really unequal, with a lot of people that don't have access to things that we consider basics for delivering human rights. I mean, if we don't go further in having the tools needed for participatory democracy, we are going yes or yes to the other path, to authoritarianism. And I really think that is the worst place where we can go when we have a society that is really like threatened by big issues in society. And the only way where people can feel like some safeguard or some way without risk or protected by their authorities is with the participation of them. This is like when we thinking in a subjective way. When I need something, I need that the other person hear what I need. I mean, and if the other person took a place and do an act without asking me, probably I will think that that was more an aggression than something to help me. And this can be amplified in society. So I think that is the main importance.